Hi, this is Professor Spears, and I'm here to talk to you about seasonal affective disorder. And contrary to its acronym, S.A.D, it's much more than just feeling sad or having the winter blues. It's a subset in the DSM-V-TR of Major Depressive Disorder. So, in order to be diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder, you have to have some pretty significant symptoms, and they have to interrupt with your everyday functioning. So, it's not, as I said, somebody who just feels down a little bit, maybe let down after the holidays or something like that. This is more serious than that and can be serious. It is at its peak between January and February. It is most intense the farther north or south you are away from the equator. So, the more that your access to daylight is limited, the more this becomes a problem. And as I said, it's more than just feeling down. It actually is a reaction in your brain. Your brain is set it's got its own internal clock or circadian rhythm, and that's based upon sleep and sunlight, which regulates these circadian rhythms. And once that happens, it changes some of the chemicals and the way that your brain functions, and it can have some significant symptoms. And some of the more significant symptoms uh, include depressed mood, and that in getting diagnosed by a physician or a licensed mental health professional, they will look in the DSM and it will need to rise to the level of major depressive disorder. But depressed mood, changes in appetite, this is generally an increase in your appetite and a craving for carbohydrates, and changes in your sleep pattern. Generally, people with seasonal affective disorder want to sleep more. So they're kind of almost going into hibernation mode. So we've got that increase, a loss of energy, and that is not affected by the amount of sleep that you get. So even if you are oversleeping because of some of the other symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, you can sleep 8 to 12 hours a night and you still have a lack of energy. So that is one of the symptoms. Feeling worthless, difficulty concentrating, so reading books or watching programs that you usually really enjoy. These are symptoms that are included. And then most seriously, of course, are thoughts of death and suicide. And this is not to be taken lightly because it's only seasonal affective disorder. There's no such thing as only. When we're dealing with depression and those sorts of issues, anytime somebody has suicidal ideation and feeling as though the only way to resolve their pain is through ending their life, that needs to be taken seriously. And that needs to be also reported to healthcare professionals so that somebody that you know or yourself may be in that situation, you can be evaluated by the professionals and proper treatment can be provided to relieve you of the symptoms. And there are effective treatments, so that's the good news. Some of the treatments that are often provided, one is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is a form of talk therapy that has been documented in peer-reviewed journal articles as being effective. Another is through medication, particularly the SSRIs or selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, because the change in sunlight patterns and the periods of time of sunlight, they do interfere with the levels of serotonin in the brain, which is one of the chemicals or neurotransmitters that help with mood. And if you are low in serotonin, it's going to cause depression. So you can take the medication, which generally takes 4 to 8 weeks to take full effect. If you want to avoid taking medication, there's another type of treatment which has been documented to be effective, and it might sound uh, like you might be tempted not to take it seriously, but I will present in the comments below uh, access to research that's shown the effectiveness of light therapy. And what this does is it makes up for the deficiency that you have in sunlight, and it replicates that through devices such as this. This is a seasonal affective disorder light, and it provides uh, quite bright light up to most of them go to 10,000 lux, which is a measure of light, and that is comparable to the amount of light that you get at sunrise. And the good thing about this is if you get the proper light, which you can get through Amazon and other sources, it filters out the harmful UV rays. So it's not going to cause damage to your skin. However, being that it is bright, you need to be mindful not to look directly into that light because it can be harmful to your eyes. So you would turn this on, have it off to the side so that it's shining on you, but it's not shining directly into your face because you won't see much more than that light if you have it shining directly into your face. So it's recommended that you engage these lights for at least 20 minutes or perhaps a little bit more, at least one time a day, every single day during the time period of uh, late November into February, and when we start to move into March and the days get longer, and we no longer need this supplementation of our light. So I would recommend that you turn the light on for 20 minutes or so in the morning when you get up. And then also, as it's starting to get darker, sun's going down, turn the light back on so that it extends the period of light a little further. So if you can add 40 minutes onto that, it can be quite helpful. I utilize this. I've got one in my college office as well as one in my home office, and I've found it to be quite helpful. I think it's more than the placebo effect. I think that it actually does work as demonstrated, and the research that I'm going to provide to you would seem to support that. So, for those of you who have a pattern over the years of struggling with depression in the fall and winter and maybe early spring, You might want to see a physician or a healthcare practitioner, see if you can get a diagnosis of seasonal affective disorder. But even without the diagnosis, if you choose to purchase one of these um, seasonal affective disorder lamps, make sure that it's the proper kind of lamp. But you can get that. It doesn't require a prescription or anything such as that. And hopefully that will help your mood. But if anything persists, or you get into the situation where you're thinking about death and suicide, by all means, please either call 911 or 988 to get assistance for that, because it is nothing to take lightly and think that it's just seasonal affective disorder, it'll pass. It's a much more serious condition than it sounds because of the unfortunate acronym that they've given in naming it. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. I can also provide links to lamps in the comments below, and I hope that it provides you, those of you who struggle with seasonal affective disorder, with some relief. And until next time, I'm Professor Spears at Ivy Tech Community College, and I wish you good mental health, and we will be in touch soon. Thank you.